Chapter 109 Revenge Woman. Gu Hai and his group of flying boats. Wherever they went, bizarre stone monuments appeared. Your Majesty, this matter is too bizarre. How could someone know in advance where we are going? Even if we have to change our position, he would have already anticipated it in general and set up the stone monument early. Gao Xianzi said with an ugly face. Yeah, what's even weirder is that apart from the stone monument, there's not a single silhouette. What's this about? Mu Chunfeng said with complicated eyes. Stop. Gu Hai's face abruptly changed. Boom. The flying boat suddenly stopped. Mergu. Long Sanqian looked towards Gu Hai worriedly. Long Sanqian's group of subordinates also looked worried. After all, the scene in front of them was too bizarre. Can't go any further, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. The crowd was puzzled. At this moment, the sky had already darkened, while all around there were dark clouds and towering mountains. The person who carved the stone monument seems to be able to predict our journey. No, we can't go any further. This is to introduce us to a certain place. Go, return the same way. We can't go any further. Gu Hai's face sank. Lead us into some place. How is that possible? There's no tugging us. We walked randomly. Mu Chunfeng was surprised. Gao Xianzi, however, quickly went to the flying boat maneuvering area, ready to turn the head of the flying boat and return the same way. HMPH. Only now do you think of it and want to leave. It's all too late. Steeply, a cold hum rang out in the void. On guard. Long Sanqian's face changed. With a loud shout, under the shout, the flying boat steeply erupted with a dazzling light, and a large formation sprang up on the flying boat to prevent the incoming sound. Rumble. However, at this moment, rolling black mist emerged out of thin air, instantly shrouding the flying boat in all directions, and in an instant, it was impossible to distinguish between southeast and northwest. Your Majesty, Gao Xianzi called out, waiting for Gu Hai to speak. However, Gu Hai's face sank as he said, "This is a formation, don't move." HMPH. Gu Hai, I've been waiting for you for a long time, and wasted a lot of effort to introduce you here. Today is the day of your death. An eerie voice came from the black mist. The voice was very bizarre, as if it was a woman, but as if it had been deliberately altered, so that no one could hear who it was. However, the voice carried a bone-deep hatred in general. Who is your excellency? Why do you have a grudge against me? How did you know we would go like this? Gu Hai said in a deep voice. HMPH, HMPH, HMPH. So much nonsense. Do it, the voice droned. Yes, Heavenly Circle, Yellow Spring Order. It seemed like another person's loud drink rang out. What? Yellow Spring Order. Bukdao Grand Formation. Mu Chunfeng's face changed. Bukdao. What Bukdao? Gu Hai looked towards Mu Chunfeng. The kin, chess, calligraphy and painting. The kin is the first, and the book is the basis. Be careful, Hall Master. The Tao of the book is the rules, the supreme principle. A stroke of order divides heaven and earth, Mu Chunfeng anxiously said. Boom. Steeply, in the midst of the black mist, a river of yellow springs emerged, coming straight at the flying boat. Oh no. Quickly dodge. Long Sanqian's face changed. However, it was not just this one yellow spring river, but 100 yellow spring rivers in general. The yellow spring river surrounded the flying boat, and the moment it touched the flying boat's formation, the formation suddenly and strangely disappeared, and the mana was completely gone. Break. Mu Chunfeng probed a scepter and waved it out, instantly changing into 100 tree roots that rushed straight ahead. Clatter. The tree roots, condensed by mana, touched the Yellow Springs River and instantly decayed and rose, flying into oblivion in the blink of an eye. This is, the faces of the crowd changed. Boom. 100 yellow spring rivers flooded the flying boat. In an instant, All of the power of the flying boat's formations disappeared into thin air, and the flying boat malfunctioned and crashed down. "Don't!" Long Sanqian's group of subordinates roared in shock. "This is the elimination method. All mana is all gone." Mu Chunfeng's face changed. Gu Hai's blood blade blasted at a yellow spring river. Boom! The saber daggers suddenly disappeared into thin air, and were also ablated in general. Gu Hai's face changed. He stepped and instantly dodged the impact of the yellow spring river. Clatter! The countless yellow spring rivers around them instantly formed a yellow spring water curtain, separating Gu Hai from everyone. Although the crowd couldn't help this yellow spring river, but they didn't suffer much damage either. Yellow Spring Destruction Scripture. This is the Sima clan's Yellow Spring Destruction Dharma Scripture. How could it be? How could the Sima clan round up the ancient sea? Long Sanqian's face sank. "Your Majesty." Gao Xianzi and the others quickly impacted the yellow spring water curtain. However, no matter what kind of astral energy or magic treasures, when they touched the water curtain, they instantly dissipated all their mana. Gao Xianzi slammed into the yellow spring water curtain. Boom! Gao Xianzi crashed in, but the next moment suddenly broke back out of it. "How did I come back?" Gao Xianzi's face changed. "It's useless. This is the Book Dao formation. The Book Dao is the way of order, the way of including the rules of heaven and earth. The Heavenly Dao wants you to be unable to go to the other side. You can't go there anyhow," Long Sanqian said in a deep voice. "What's Heavenly Dao and Book Dao? I don't understand. Will the Emperor be in danger?" Gao Xianzi anxiously said. Long Sanqian looked at the yellow spring water curtain in front of him and revealed a hint of eccentricity. Could it be him? The yellow spring water curtain separated Gu Hai from the others. In an instant, the black mist on all four sides was replaced by yellow mist, and as the yellow mist enveloped the area, Gu Hai felt that all of his mana could not be exerted, and as soon as it was exerted, it immediately dissolved away. The blood knife in his hand was also unable to cut out a blade deity. It was just an ordinary long knife. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Steeply, bats emerged from the void, opening their bloody mouths and coming straight at Gu Hai. Gu Hai's face changed, and the bloody blade immediately met it. Bang, 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 bang. Instantly, a large swath of bats were chopped in half by Gu Hai, but there were too many bats, and Gu Hai made a mess in an instant. Gu Hai jumped around in a sorry state while checking the surroundings. Sure enough, not far away, on top of a small mountain peak, there was a group of black-robed people standing at the moment. The figure of the leader seemed to be a woman, grasping a long whip in her hand. Next to it, a black-robed man was writing in the air with a pen, commanding bats to attack Gu Hai in general. "Bite him to death, bite him to death," the woman black-robed man said in a cold voice. The voice from the woman black-robed man was the first person to open his mouth earlier to curse Gu Hai. Yes, the person commanding the bat next to him uttered an answering cry, grasping a hairbrush in his hand. The brush made a stroke into the void. Boom! In the yellow spring fog, rolling bats abruptly rushed out once again, this time 100 times, as many as before, wanting to tear Gu Hai apart in general at once. Gu Hai's mana was unusable, and his defense was more than a step worse at the moment. "So you guys are here." Gu Hai's face was gloomy. Boom! The bats swarmed up and instantly enveloped Gu Hai, who was drowned by the bats. Squeak, squeak, squeak. However, a miserable sound came from the bats. What? The black-robed man who grabbed the brush was shocked. The brush was swung. Boom! The bats dispersed in countless numbers, and it was immediately seen that on Gu Hai's body surface, a single bone splinter, like a hedgehog spike, was emerging, instantly stabbing all of the bats that had rushed into death. Spikes? What kind of evil skill is this? A group of black-robed men were surprised. HMPH. Gu Hai let out a cold snort as his figure shook, and a pair of huge bone wings emerged. Mana could not be exerted, but The bones were solid, and with a flap of the bone wings, Gu Hai flew. "Go, kill him, kill him," the black-robed man, who was the leader woman, said with a hateful voice. The black-robed man, who grabbed the pen, used the brush to write a word pardon on the eyebrows of the three black-robed men around him. Boom! Those three black-robed men, however, steeply flew up into the sky and rushed towards Gu Hai. Obviously, with the word pardon written, this Buk Dao formation would have no effect on them. The foremost black-robed man instantly arrived close and chopped towards Gu Hai with a sword. Gu Hai's face showed a grimace as his blood sword also chopped away with a roar. Boom! Gu Hai didn't have a sword dipper, and the other party's sword dipper was fierce, but the blood knife was still sturdy and collided with it, instantly shattering the sword dipper. But Gu Hai was also chopped out and retreated nearly 10 feet. "Something that hides its head," Gu Hai said with a scowl on his face. With a flap of his wings, he met the three black-robed men. The three black-robed men instantly chopped out their long swords, and the sword aura instantly shot straight at Gu Hai's entire body. Roar! Gu Hai let out a roar, but unfortunately, after all, there was no sword dipper, and the blood blade collided with the sword dipper, and his body exploded back once again, while the surrounding sword chi was charging straight at his body. Boom! A layer of armor emerged from Gu Hai's body surface, instantly blocking the sword chi. HMPH, Gu Hai, "I'll see how long you can block it," the three black-robed men said in a cold voice. Obviously, under the exertion of mana, Gu Hai could only flee in a sorry state. And at this moment, Gu Hai was once again chopped back, making the three feel that Gu Hai wouldn't be able to hold out for too long. Gu Hai retreated to the top of a mountain peak and flung out his big sleeve. But in his other hand, a bone blade, the Absolute Life Blade, suddenly appeared. As soon as the Absolute Life Blade came out, Gu Hai showed a fierce face and was about to charge up. "No, there's danger. Be careful of that evil blade. Retreat. If you don't retreat, you will die," the woman black-robed man from earlier instantly shrieked. Boom! The three black-robed men seemed to be extremely convinced, instantly bursting back numerous times. Gu Hai, who had just held back a fierce energy, but his face changed as if he had punched in the air. Not right, the Absolute Life Blade didn't reveal any breath. How did the woman black-robed man know the terror of the Absolute Life Blade? Boom! Gu Hai's wings flapped and chopped towards the group of black-robed people. "Be careful with that bone blade. That bone blade is evil. Try to avoid it," the woman black-robed man called out. "Yes," the group of black-robed men answered. The black-robed man, who was previously holding the brush, was the one who probed his hand, and instantly another yellow spring water curtain blocked in front of Gu Hai. The Absolute Life Blade blasted away. Boom! That yellow spring water curtain. But it was bizarrely torn apart by the Absolute Life Blade. "What? This bone blade was able to break my order," the black-robed man who grabbed the brush exclaimed. Gu Hai was very fast and arrived in front of the black-robed crowd in a flash. Catching the thief, he went straight for the woman black-robed man. Bold, unbridled, protect the county lord. A group of black-robed men suddenly let out a chorus of voices, and together they raised their swords and chopped towards Gu Hai. Gu Hai was surrounded by armor that was impervious to swords and spears, and his speed exploded out even more, too fast, and he was about to arrive in front of the woman and cut her down with a sword. Steeply hearing the word County Lord, Gu Hai's face changed, and the Absolute Life Blade abruptly changed direction. Boom! Gu Hai was decapitated by a group of black-robed men. However, with the bone armor, Gu Hai didn't suffer any major injuries. "County Lord, which county lord are you?" Gu Hai's face changed and said. The woman black-robed man no longer hid, probing her hand to lift the black-robed hat, and looked coldly at Gu Hai. Once the hat was lifted, it immediately revealed a beautiful woman's appearance. Her appearance and Long Wanqing had a few resemblances, But, at this moment, looking at Gu Hai was a great hatred of life and death in general. Long Wan Yu, Gu Hai abruptly remembered the portrait given by Master Liu Nian, and his face changed in surprise.